One of the central thrusts of the Prime Minister's Independence Day speech was his promise that India will be the world's third largest economy before the end of what he claims will be his third term in power. And the person who has to lead India's charge when it comes to economic growth is Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, who now joins us on this special Independence Day broadcast. Nirmala ji, welcome to the India Today group and wish you a very, very happy Independence Day.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I want to start by asking you about the Prime Minister's promise to make India the third largest economy in the next 5 years. You're the person who's literally driving the economic engine of this country. We're seeing some forecasts which suggest that India could potentially be the third largest economy by the year 2027. There are others who are a little cautious and think that this may more likely happen by 2030. As the finance minister of this country, how confident are you that by the year 2027, as the SBI's economic rap suggests, that India will indeed be the world's third largest economy? Let's start from there, madam.
Well, I'm confident because there are enough steps being taken and more will be taken as we go along to sustain the momentum of our growth. And it is because of that confidence we are able to say, yes, that we will reach India as a developed country by 2047. Now, third largest, it is certainly something which PM has mentioned as a guarantee that in his third term, we will achieve it. Because it requires, unlike the way in which some of the Congress senior leaders are commenting, anyway it will happen by default. No, nothing happens by default. You will have to put effort to achieve certain targets. Otherwise, India had the potential at the end of 2004 to be a better economy, a larger economy even then. But in spite of the benefit of Atal Bihari Vajpayee government, which the UPA enjoyed during its first 5 years, we ended up being a fragile 5 country. So, it is not by default that countries go down the drain or reach certain rank. It is definitely with a lot of efforts. Now, for reaching fragile 5 was definitely with effort because the attention was in corruption, attention was doing... Sorry?
Your critics will point out, ma'am, that lofty economic promises have been made by this government in the past as well. The government said by 2022, India would be a $5 trillion economy. In 2023, India is only a $3.7 trillion economy. We have about $1.3 trillion to go before we get to the $5 trillion mark. And of course, we had the pandemic in the middle, which was the kind of black swan event that nobody had anticipated. But questions would be asked about the certainty with which this promise is being made, given that there are quite a few unknown variables which could still slow down India's growth over the next 5 years.
While I agree with you, Rahul, black swan events take away a lot of, the good work one has done, laid the foundation, but all that goes for nothing when there is an unpredictable huge hit. But keeping in mind the fact that in spite of the lockdown and the hitting or the hit that the Indian economy took, we have now recovered, and the path to the recovery is very clearly sustainable. In fact, we are one of the fastest growing economy. So take that as an example. Black swan events cannot be predicted, I agree. But if you have a determined leadership, stable and transparent policy, no pilferage, no way in which middlemen are given any role to play, people understand that what they work for, they get as reward, and there is nobody else claiming undue advantage in between, there is hope, and there is also a possibility that the trust globally, because of a stable leadership and definitive policies, we can move fast.